Boker Tov, good morning. Today is Friday, September 30th, Erev Shabbat, Parshat Vayelech. Towards the end of Parshat Vayelech, God describes a certain point, a dark point, in his relationship with us after we will stray and are sent off to our exile. And God says the following: when indeed we've all those ra'ot, rabot, v'tzarot happen upon us, those horrible, terrible things come upon us. And then God says, "Vanochi haster panai bayom hahu, al kol hara'a asher asa ki pana el Elohim acherim." God says, "I will hide my face on that day, due to all of the evil which the people has done for having turned to foreign gods, to other gods." The Torah here has God repeating the verb. Whenever they repeat the verb, there's a certain intensity to it. Haster astir, God says, "I will most certainly hide my face from you." And that's an awful feeling. We can think about when we're children and our parents are angry at us. And it's bad enough when our parents express anger, but it's much harder, much more difficult when our parents simply can't engage with us. That really hurts. And that's when they're, of course, present. With God, somehow the implication is that God says, "I will hide myself from you, my face from you," and we will just have experienced the absence of God for the Jewish people. The Chidushei Arim intensifies this. He says, what is Hastarat Panim really? This hiding of God's face. He says, when people know and feel that God is hidden, then that's not really hiddenness. And it's not so awful. It's awful because you're still aware of God and conscious of God and missing God, as it were, and something will sort of motivate you or the people to try to find God once more and bring God back and sort of break through all the barriers that exist between God and God's people. And that would be a tremendous tshuva, he says. That would ein lecha teshuva yoter gedola mizo. There's no greater tshuva than this. If that's what you're moved to, because you're thinking about God being absent and you want God. The tzara, he says, that is that shehahester hu behester, that God's absence is itself hidden from you. Shelo chalim v'lo margishim, in the abbreviated version of his teaching, Shelo chalim v'lo margishim sheyesh hastarat panim. People are not even conscious of the fact, they're not even feeling the fact that God is not there. It's just not noticed at all. There's no angry shal Elokim. There's no searching for God. People are not interested in God shining down upon them in any way. And that's the worst possible experience. That's Anochi Haster Astir. That the Hester is hidden from them. That people should reach that state. We hope and we pray, of course, that not be the case. But we know that for some Jews, the absence of God in their lives is not even noticed. And the absence of God in our lives, each of us, right, I think we do notice. It's complicated, whatever it is. And if you recall back some of my comments on the second day of Rosh Hashanah, a little bit more about some of those elements. But the first thing to bestir within a person is to recognize, God isn't here in me right now. God isn't surrounding me, and I'm surrounding myself with God. And that's, if we reach that point, then we're on a good path. And then there's work to do, but there is a place for us with God and God with us. May this curse that's described here, or this terrible state, never be one that we experience as a people. And we be able to stir this in others around us, and we too should find ourselves ever closer each time for the desire to have God in our lives. Wishing you all a Shabbat Shalom.